all over the place with the products. Because I think that causes a lot of the frustration. And if you're not lucky enough to find that product that's going to work for you in those initial stages, it could really kind of muddy you as far as your attempts to appreciate your hair, because you're not getting good results. And over time, that's basically, it could put you right back where we all started. It was the fact that I can't do it, it's not manageable, da-da-da. So that's my hope with that survey. So I'll get back to you shortly on that. Well, now it's time for the results. When I first asked for this, I didn't really know what to expect or what I was going to get. Most of you gave me a lot of information, which was great. Of course, this isn't scientific by any stretch of the imagination. This is just simply based on those who responded and what they felt their hair did or didn't do, and what products their hair tends to like. But I wanted to take it a step further. I mean, okay, your hair type, but then what? How does that information help you as far as what you should or shouldn't do and what you should use or shouldn't use? And my hope is that this information will at least give you a baseline of where to start. Here we go. Based on, the three categories are whether or not your hair went up or down, and then I tallied based on whether or not you had a high or a low sheen, and then the last one was whether or not you had a pronounced wave pattern or not. Now, up girls. Shea butter, vegetable glycerin, and oil mixes, like a mix of different oils, whether it was 2 or 3 different oils, and whether or not it was products or conditioners that tended to have different oils. And that is oil's absence of shea. And those that had hair that go down tend to say that they, more often than not, preferred a mix, either oil mixes or oil and some sort of butter mix. Whether it was like olive oil, vegetable glycerin, or shea alone, almost none of you reported preferring that as an ingredient. Those with the higher sheen tend to like anything whipped with shea more than anything else. I'd say it was about 80% that, and then another 20% of using something that, mix of oils. And whipped, I'm going to say anything whipped with shea, I'm talking whether it's an oil or aloe vera. That was pretty high in the percentage. Almost everything else was nil. And then those with the lower sheen, it seemed it was almost even with whether you use straight raw shea, whether you use something whipped with shea, vegetable glycerin, and a mix of oils. The girls with the wave pattern mostly preferred things whipped with shea butter, and then vegetable glycerin and an oil mix came in at a close second. And then for girls with no wave, it seemed, and it's a tie between raw shea, whipped shea, or things whipped with shea, vegetable glycerin, and some oil mix. Now, the cone thing, again, I think based on this, it doesn't really stand out one way or the other. Silicones, which is, I guess, a synthetic wax of some sort that's supposed to give your hair slip, which I found to be detrimental to my hair. But I do find it interesting that that was 50-50 as far as whether or not cones worked for you. I mean, I hope that information was somewhat helpful, but I gotta say that it seems almost everyone, and it didn't matter what category you fell in, everybody found a good use for aloe vera, which makes absolutely perfect sense. I forgot your name, and maybe I'll put it under here. We had a discussion a while back on one of my other videos about, thinking about, getting out of kind of, where we are now as far as a society, and think about, okay, when we were in Africa, when we were in the sub-Saharan temperatures, we obviously had to use what was local and indigenous to us. And aloe vera is found in every hot climate. I mean, that's where it grows. So it only makes sense that this is probably is going to work for everyone. Oh, guess what, girls? But I only found one. There was about 8 containers at Big Lots, and only one of them was the old formula. So I'm probably gonna be hoarding this like nobody's business. Gonna have to get in touch with you. You know who you are, who volunteered to. Apparently you can find a lot of this where you are, and I'm gonna be contacting you soon, because when all else fails, I think I can always fall back on this. Now, I'm not going to be able to depend on it forever, which is fine. I guess it just tells me that I need to back off the commercial stuff, because you never know when it's going to change.